like online, you know, there's all sorts of stuff you can pull inspiration from, but as far as like taking someone's exact image and then duplicating their exact image, it's not, the most you can do is learn from that by doing that. But you yourself can't really say that you made that.
Because you're copying. And it's
copying.
Yeah, I feel that completely. Like when I'm creating Squirtle, I'm just mimicking it.
Yeah.
But I'm learning at that time, oh, I can make a turtle now.
How they put it together,
Yeah.
that's what you'll learn.
Yeah.
You know, like, so then from there, what you can do, it's like, I compare it to like a dish, because like like I said, my brother's a chef, he's an executive chef, so he was an artist before a chef, but he carried the artistic mind state over to cooking. So in cooking, I before this kind of interesting part, when I was hella young, I didn't want to be an artist, I wanted to be a chef. And when he was hella young, he wanted to be an artist, not a chef. So we sort of switched professions as we grew, just because our affinities sort of went the other way. You know, I wanted to cook. I was obsessed with cooking, obsessed with like just being in the kitchen and cooking shit with my hands. And he was always drawing and painting and doing stuff like that. But as we grew, I grew more attached to colors and compositions and like learning how to do that. And then he grew more towards learning how flavors work, you know?
Yeah.
But I compare like...
It was like almost like you guys almost mastered it at a younger age, and like this almost sparked more creativity, like an interest, like a different interest that almost was like, oh,
carryover sort of.
Yeah, I see exactly what you mean.
So it's pretty interesting. But I would compare like even like copying or something, or mimicking someone's art style is like learning a recipe. Like if you're attached or attracted to an artwork, it's something about it has attracted you enough for you to do it and mimic it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like saying, yo, I love basil pesto pasta or some shit like that. It's like, okay, well, you want to learn how to make basil pesto pasta? It's pretty easy. Basil, olive oil, Parmesan. What makes those things work? And a little bit of maybe pine nuts inside of there. You crush it up, and there's your pesto. Those flavors, the flavors fucking work. They've worked for hundreds of years.
Yeah, and that's why
it's a staple dish. You know what I mean? Tomato, basil, that shit works. It works. You go to China, where it's ginger, chili, and like fucking, you know, some other shit. You know what I mean? But it works. They have their combinations that work. So if you see an artwork that's like that, I compare it to like, if you're gonna mimic it or copy it, you're learning how to make the dish. So once you learn how to make basil pesto, then what you can do is say, okay, I've learned how they make it traditionally. I've copied it. I've learned how to make it. Now, what differentiates a chef from a cook is, do you decide to say, these are the ingredients that make it work. How can I flip this? How can I turn this? How can I rearrange this ingredients to make it original? But keep it and respect what works about it, because it works for a reason.
Yeah.
But how do you make that original in your sense? How do you do it now? It's like, well, I like more cheese in it, so I'm going to try changing the cheese out for something similar. All right, Parmesan is a saltier cheese and a nutty cheese. What are other cheeses that are salty and nutty? Let me try it.
No, I see exactly what you mean.
You know,
so you're like,
oh, we use olive oil in it? Well, maybe we try using
it's
truffle
like,
oil in it.
You could be the best chef in the world mimicking everybody else's dishes, but that doesn't make you your own chef. That doesn't make you your plate, your taste.
Yeah, you're just doing your version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be your version of it. Yeah.
If you were to make everybody else's dish, then you're just a guy who can make everybody else's dish.
Exactly.
But then it's like, what's your flavor? What is that?
What makes it yours?
Makes you? Yeah.
What makes it yours? Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. That's honestly so cool, because like that's what I did with like my Homer Simpson. I made the Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
And I love The Simpsons, and everybody's like, why are you doing The Simpsons? It's like, it's somewhere for me as a childhood. It's really easy to come from.
Yeah.
Because like it's simple. I saw it a lot, right? So now let me do it. So when I did Homer, I looked at the colors I had, and I was like, cool, I can do Homer, but I don't have the colors of Homer. Yeah. So I'm going to do the Homer I want. And when it came out, I was very happy with it, because it was Homer.
But your version.
My version.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I fuck with that so much. Like
that's how it should be.
Yeah, I love that.
Because like, you know, there's a whole style of cooking called gastronomy. Molecular gastronomy.
I hear about that in Food Wars.
So that one chef, she did it. So her whole that's a whole legit style of cuisine. Yeah. The whole restaurant's dedicated to doing that. my favorite restaurants, because like you'll go to a restaurant like that. We went to one. Me and my brother actually went to one at the SLS when I was still around. Mm-hmm. It's called Bazaar Meats by.
I remember hearing about that place.
Yeah, it was really good. Really good.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things the chef was known for is doing some molecular gastronomy work on his menu. So I was really excited because, I think it's like 2015 we did this. It was so good though. Like, I don't like olives. I don't like it.
I fucking love olives.
I've tried them throughout my life. So
is it just
times.
all of them? The black and green?
I've tried marinated olives I fuck with, but like pickled, briny olives, I just can't do it. I've tried over and over and I just can't do it.
Hey, but do you like pickles?
I like pickles, yeah.
That's so funny.
It's I don't know what about it.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's how it's packaged or something. I don't know. But on his restaurant, he had olives, but they were put to a process of molecular gastronomy where they were like served on those, the miso soup spoons.
Yeah.
Like those little long ones. It was served on one of those, and it was like a green jelly sort of thing.
Okay. And
it was an olive. But what he had done is he liquefied it, and then put it through a process where like you mix it with certain chemicals. I forget what it is. It's totally safe to eat, but like you do it through a certain chemicals that makes a protein membrane. And so you take the liquid, mix with this olive puree, and this new shit you put in it. And you drop it into water, and what it does is when it drops into water, it creates a perfect orb because it drops into water and then it's weightless, and then it generates a perfect circle.
Okay.
But when it does that, the water is so cold that it makes a membrane around the liquid. So now what you do is you have a sort of like a burst.
A sack.
Yeah, like a sack, like an olive sack, and it's all 100% olive puree.
It's like a burst of flavor.
Yeah. So when you eat it, you burst through it like a gusher almost.
Ooh,
you know what I mean? Dude. And it's all olive, pure olive.
Okay.
But it was so interesting, and it's like, it's just an olive. But what can you do with that? You know what I mean? You can take dishes to a whole nother level through texture, through, experience. You can make spaghetti and meatballs, but you can fucking cut it up into its molecular composition, then put it together. It is something completely different. Looks hella crazy, smoke coming out, weird shit, like spaghetti and meatballs. Just eat it. Yeah, it's like, oh fuck, like, you know what I mean? Like, so like, it's all about how far can you push the art to that in the same way.
And that's something else, like, so there's some artists and like with you, right? I've always loved your art style because it's like, there's your graffiti style, right? Mm-hmm. Cool, I've seen that.
Like street graffiti.
Yeah. And that was something that, like, I'm not gonna lie, I've never been a big street graffiti person, right? Yeah. Lettering is cool to me, but it's not something that ever like was like.
It's a whole world,
Yeah, lettering to me always kind of, as a child, it always made me think of like gangs. Yeah, and I know that's not the best way to think of it, but that's what my brain thinks of, right?
I think naturally it is.
It is, but when I started to see that, like, hey, you could take, like, I saw someone like you, someone like Oprah, all these other artists that were like, yeah, I do graffiti.
Yeah.
But that's not where I stop.
Yes.
Like, I'm comfortable with my paint, but that's not why I do art. I do art because it's a passion. There's something that comes out of me when I do it.
Yeah.
And it's energy, like, it's a freedom of expression and being yourself and allowing that freedom to be yourself. Can I hit it?
Yeah, of course. I was gonna say, are you good, or you want to hit that?
I haven't smoked at all today. I've been chilling.
Okay, cool. But yeah, no, it's for me, learning art skills and learning composition and color theory was all.
So did you go to school?
No.
Okay.
Schooling.
Where are you from?
I'm technically from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay.
But I grew up here in Vegas. I came from Albuquerque in 1999. I was like 10,
okay, yeah,
8 or 9, with my parents, you know what I mean? And I've grown up here, I went to elementary school here, middle school here, high school here, grew up here. These are the streets where I learned all my life lessons, you know what I mean? And the casinos, you know what I mean? Like,
did you graduate from high school here?
All of it, yeah.
Where'd you go?
I've been here since 99, Spring Valley.
Nice.
Yeah, I was up on the west side, sort of, on the sort of like middle income sort of.
So you said you started off with like cooking. What was it that transferred you over to art?
Graffiti. It was graffiti. Because like, as a kid, like in Albuquerque, like when I first started doing art at all, like before I started doing art actually, my cousin Tim, who was like, because my family's very mixed. Like I come from a very mixed family in Albuquerque. It's all like half my family, my dad's side is all black and native, and then my mom's side is all Hispanic, and then tons of my uncles are married in, like Asian, white, black, like it's a huge family. But my cousin Tim and Ricky and Quincy, they're like, you know, I was maybe like 3, 4, 5 years old, you know, hanging out with them, and they were in high school and shit. You know, they were super cool, you know.
Yeah.
Bumping Wu-Tang. Tim had a rack of like cans like that in his room.
That's so bad.
And my auntie had turned the garage into his room, so he was living in the room in the garage, and he had posters of like Saber and MSK and all these, you know, graffiti cats.
Yeah.
And he was like doing these ill ass burners and shit in his book and shit, and that got my brother into art because he was 2 years older than me, so he was like, oh, like I'm more aware, you know, he was more aware than me. And he was picking up art skills from him. And so when we came out to Vegas, my brother was always drawing, trying to do that. And because he was doing it, I was doing it too, but I never really cared too much about it. It was like, oh, he's doing that. Just kind of do what your brother does. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
I believe
you know what I mean?
that shit.
You know, as a little
my brother's
brother.
younger than me, and I started smoking weed because my younger brother smoked weed. I was like, well, if you smoke weed, like, why am I not smoking weed? Like,
brothers just stick together like that.
It's so
you know,
funny, like,
we may hate each other from time to time. We're getting each other's nerves, but we still love each other no matter what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and you always follow each other no matter what.
Oh, hell yeah, no, yeah.
It's just how it is. Yeah. It's the name of the game, you know?
Yeah, it's your brother.
But, you know, growing up, he was the one always drawing and shit. And I always felt sort of outcasted because I wasn't as into drawing as he was. I was sort of always trying to find myself, and which led to a lot of introspection as a kid. I was always trying to wonder what I was supposed to do. My sister was she got her fashion degree, so she's a fashion designer and a professional ballroom instructor and dancer. She dances salsa, tango, merengue.
So it's kind of like you already were like the young one, like looking up. You're like, oh shit, I got something to like.
Yeah,
prove.
what do I do? Yeah. Like he's an incredible artist. He won Scholastic Awards in high school. They flew us across country to New York City for the the ceremony. In Carnegie Hall in New York City. Bro. But it was all because of him, all his stuff.
Yeah.
You know? And he was doing sculptures and shit. That sculpture flew us across the country. And like he was winning art competitions like a motherfucker. He can draw like so good with, you know, pencil, and I couldn't really, you know, stand up to what he was doing, but I was still there, but not in the same way he was. He was accurate, you know, fixed, really focused, and like his art was, you know, would reflect that. I mean, even just his brushstrokes in this piece that's not even finished, you can tell like he's very calculated and methodical about his process.
Dude, it's so
strict,
crazy how some like I've been at Graffiti Park and I see some of the dudes go out a wall and it's like there's not one mistake.
Yeah,
they're literally
really good.
It's like I see a dude do and it's like in my brain I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to start out with a background and then the object. This fool's doing background. Why he's doing the front ground? Why he's like the foreground or whatever? He's doing it all at once, and it's like he can see that, and I'm just like,
you put your mind there.
Yeah, it's like his brain just broke apart every color and was like, yeah, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and he's done, and you're just like. My brain was like 100 processes.
Yeah. It's all about learning that process.
Yeah.
And what process works best for you too, because everyone has a different one, you know. Like that's one thing I learned. Everyone has their own process. My brother had his, and because mine wasn't just like his, I felt like I wasn't good. You know what I mean? But I just didn't find mine yet.
And that's something that like I've definitely found out. Like, just like don't like. I don't know, like, you know, like, was in the art community, I've realized, like, there's a lot of, like, I don't know how to really say it, but, like, people look at you weird when you do certain things, you know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's like when you're doing a graffiti piece and you put up some tape and they're like...
Yeah. They should look at you weird, though. If they're looking at you weird, that's a good thing, because what that means is you're doing something they didn't expect you to do.
Yeah.
And they're like, I didn't expect that. And now I'm sort of recalibrating how I should go from now.
Yeah, because like the first time I did graffiti at Graffiti Park, I used tape and I was like formatting stuff, and people are like, "You don't use tape when you do graffiti?" I was like, "This is my first time, bro. I watched my dad paint cars. This is what he did, and it came out clean. So I'm gonna mimic that." And it was good. I was like, "Cool."
You're doing what you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
bring what you know to the table. There's no rules. The fact that they say that there's rules is counterintuitive to the counterculture of graffiti.
We're breaking rules.
So I've always thought that, like, I've always thought that was a little weird that I've picked that up over the years from here and there. You know what I mean? Is that some people will treat graffiti like, no, you have to do it this way or it's not right. I'm like, yo, tell me how to write on a wall. Like, yo, I'm gonna write on a wall. That's the whole point of the culture,
like,
right?
JPS is one of my favorite graffiti artists right now, and he's not even that big, and he does like these small ass things, and I'm like, how does he do it? It's because he's stencil working, but like, that's what he does, and it's fucking exactly what he wants, and it's like, cool, it's his style.
Yeah, it's his process.
Yeah.
Like I've been, because when I started to get more into art, you know, I started learning and brushing up on history for myself, so that I know the history of the art world of America that we live in. You know what I mean? There's people in like 1950, 1960, you know, 1940s, Rothkow, people like William de Kooning, people like, you know, what's his face, Francis Bacon. You know, there's so many artists that I could name that weren't trained from a institution or trained from a specific sect of artists who paint a certain way. They were artists who were just saying, I have paint, I'm a guy, I got fucking brushes, I got some shit, I went through shit in my life, and you know what, I really need to just, instead of going to kill someone, rob somebody, mug someone, beat someone up on the train station, you know, this is like the 50s, 40s, you know, It's not a good time to be around in New York in general. They're like, I'm gonna express these feelings, these dark emotions, I'm gonna get them out through just trying to make something out of these colors and this paste and brushes in my studio, and it feels really good when I get done, so I'm just gonna do it. And who would just do it and make these pieces, but their methods are what made the pieces so unique even to this day. Like they don't know how Rothkow did his artwork to this day. They don't understand how he applied his colors. They have speculations and theories, but no one has a set process.
Because no one was there with them.
Yeah, so you don't know how to ever recreate one of those because no one knows his process. If someone's going to teach you a process and tell you A, B, C, D, and E, and then there you go, they're saying don't innovate and don't push this farther. You know, if you can do a oil painting of a portrait like this, why can't you try doing this but put the brush in your mouth? Or why don't you try doing it with your foot?
Yeah, or left-handed. Just like try doing it with the other hand.
Yeah, just with the other hand. Put it on your ear and try to do it
if you're so good with one, now push yourself to do something else.
Push more, and what you're gonna do is not just push yourself, push the whole culture.
That's how I did with the Homer Simpson. I never, like, when I was painting it, I was like, yo, like, fuck this. Like, my paint's running, it's all fucking up. I just grabbed rags, and I started using rags as if they were a brush.
Yeah, like that's
like,
dope.
And I was literally using the rag to brush out what I wanted, and it was like, wow, I just moved 3 layers of paint with this rag.
Look at that.
Yeah, and it's like
unexpected.
Nobody else is like, if I tell someone I used a rag to do that, they're like, what?
Like using nails, you use fucking anything. You know what I'm saying? Because the look of it when you get done, how'd you get that?
Yeah, like the other day, like the wood I got for that picture I showed you, I literally, it's like, you know, the dresser back mirror?
Yeah.
The mirror was gone. And so it still has a frame, and it still had the white, it still had the backing.
That's dope.
So I took the backing off, painted the frame all black, and now I'm just customizing the backing, and I'm going to put it back so then I can hang it up. So it has its own, like, it's a repurposed piece.
Yeah, that's dope.
You see what I mean?
That's
like,
super dope.
Yeah, so it's like
a sample, like in a music.
Yeah, like, that's kind of like what I like, is like, I say something and I'm like, well, like, you know, like, you're just going to throw that in the trash. Like, that's just going to go in, why throw that wood away? Like, we can...
There's something to do with it.
Start a fire. Like, and like, dude, one time me and my ex were in the backyard and we're watching this fire, and still to this day, I've never seen fire do this. And it literally looked like people were dancing in the fire.
That's
like
dope.
Me and her both saw it. It just looked like there was these people dancing in the fire, and it was like, why? You know, we don't know why. I've tried to fucking do it again. I've never been able to do it again. So it's like...
But see, that's a concept piece that you can paint.
Yeah, like in my head, because it's in my head. But it's so beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Like, I dab,
awesome.
right?
Yeah.
And one time, like, it was dark in the room, and I turned on the torch, and I'm heating up the nail, and I'm like, my homie's a photographer, I'm like, run in here, and he's like, why? I'm like, take a photo of this. And he took a photo, and it was so beautiful, because what you're seeing is you're seeing the torch, right? And it's giving that. But the reflection of the heat hitting the glass, so you're just seeing pitch black, but then you're seeing the glass getting heated up by just the torch, and it was so like cool looking, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And it's like, I don't know, it's like that's something that I realized is like you're saying, it's like these guys had paint and they just did something. I kept waiting for so many people to do something, like, hey, come take a photo of this, or do this for me.
You should do that. But you are having the vision. So
it's like, why the fuck am I not the one doing it?
It just takes a moment of self-reflection.
That's why I like these videos. That's kind of like why I want to do these interviews, is to show people like, we were thinking the same shit. You know, like there's paint in front of us. You know, we thought the same shit. Like we saw the image.
You just got to get it out.
But it's that next step of like doing it. Push yourself to do it.
And not have those expectations. Just let it come out. Like how it comes out is how it should come out. Because it wouldn't come out the way it did unless it was supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And if it's not the way you wanted to see it, then do it again, and then do it again, and then do
it again. That's something I think so fucking cool about paint too. Is it's like, bro, you have this fucking picture. It's shit. Block it out.
Yeah, do it again.
And start right back over.
It's okay not to like your art. Just redo it. Just keep going. You know, like getting used to. I think having graffiti as a background got me used to that, because you do some shit over the weekend or whatever, and then like the next day it'd be gone, and sometimes before you can get a picture of it. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, because like, dude, it could be blasted back right over because somebody else just saw your art and was like, oh, that's trash.
Yeah, or the city came and buffed it out.
Yeah.
It's like, damn. But, you know, going through that so much knowing going into it, your art's temporary. You go into graffiti knowing that, yo, I'm going to go do a whole burner with all these colors and shit, with character hanging off the side, it's going to clean as fuck, look dope, do it, take a flick, and then you know it's going to be gone the next week. You know what I mean? And like to move on.
Or you see it a year. Somehow it lasted a year, and you're sitting there like,
how did this shit?
How the fuck did that last?
Out of everything. Sometimes, I ran into that just the other day, actually. I found a piece I was bombing the other night. I ran into a piece I did back in 2015. Still there. I'm like,
dude,
wow.
Did you hear what Christopher Watkins just did the other day?
He went over some Banksy.
Banksy, that's been there since 2016 or something, and Banksy let him do it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But like, think about Banksy was just like, I've done enough rats. You can just go over that one.
Yeah. I'd be like, dude, do it. It's Christopher Walken, bro. Go ahead. Yeah, like,
it's so bad. Like,
that's cool.
Think about being that, like, hey.
Yeah, it's an artist.
Fuck my painting.
It's like, I got a bunch of those. You can go over that one. I don't care.
So, let's talk about, what transferred you from, graffiti into canvas work?
Well, I was following my brother, for years, as a kid, and seeing what he was doing, and I just, like I said, I couldn't find my niche. Couldn't find the thing I was supposed to do. I see my sister going to school for, fashion, getting her degree and all this, doing all these performances. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. So I would, like I said, I had a lot of introspection time as a kid. So I got a lot of time to spend with myself and my thoughts. And I would walk back and forth to school, or I would ride my bike to school. So I was always on the street, I got really bored and stuff of walking in the normal paths and shit. So I would just take the drain way, take the alleyway.
You sound like me and my brother, yeah.
Behind the building, just because it's not, it's a little more
something different,
different, alleyway. It's different. But I would see graffiti there, and that's what got me into it. I started taking pictures of dope shit that I would see, dope pieces or burners or even tags or just throw upside I would take pictures on the little disposable Kodak.
Yeah.
And get it developed, and I have a huge stack. I still have a huge stack
of photos. That's fucking hard, dog.
Just old ones, and I was just a fan, man. I was like, this is cool, man. This is cool. People just throwing shit up. This is pretty cool. So I was showing kids at school at what I was doing, and they're like, yo, you got my piece. Yo, you have my burner. Those are all mine. I have 3 of the same person, you know what I mean? And then I'd meet the person, and then it would change my whole perspective on it. I'm like, yo, I should start doing this, sort of thing.
That's literally, dude, you're literally saying what happened for me. That is so fucking crazy, because that's how it looked like. Dude, I was looking at your shit, and I just kept seeing you do your shit. I was like, well, fucking this dude's doing shit, I can do shit.
I was like, let's just start doing it. So, that same vibration,
that's
man.
literally how that's so funny, bro.
Same exact vibration.
It was literally watching you and Oprah. It was just seeing you two just doing this shit. And I'm like, they're doing it. And then, I somehow, stumbled upon Graffiti Park. I straight up don't know how. Oh, I went down to Aware, where he did the Wheel of Misfortune.
Yeah, yeah.
And I took some photos, and I was like just looking for some people to tag, and I saw I typed in graffiti Park Las Vegas popped up.
Oh shit.
And I fucking followed him, and I was like, holy shit, all these people that I've always fucked with are all linked to this one like account. Like like, you know, and then they were like, yeah, come out, and I fucking went out and I saw you there, dude, and I was like, dude, this is dope. Like I'm fucking like I never thought I could connect with, and it was nuts because like, bro, I couldn't find your Instagram because I fucking couldn't remember your name. I couldn't find Oprah's Instagram, you know, because I had an Instagram and it got deleted, and like it was so crazy. Like now that I'm like having this conversation with somebody, like it's just dope, bro. Like it really is. Like it's full, like we said, full circle.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's like I would have never met the people I met if I never just got up.
Yeah, and just started trying it.
Just one day, just was like, hey, let me do something.
Fuck it. Yeah.
I just went out and took some photos, bro, and that's like,
Yeah, just fuck it. Yeah.
So
I was the same way, literally, and like through doing that, just finding my thing, it became that thing I found. And graffiti gave me a community and like an identity too. You know what I mean? What do you write? You know, type of shit. Like, you know, how you write.
How's the Black?
You know,
what was Did you have other names?
Never. No, it's always been Black Sheep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's full name is Black Sheep. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you come?
Felt like an outcast.
The black sheep in your family.
Yeah,
you were like trying to fit in.
At the time, I felt like that. You know, I don't feel that way anymore for the most part.
Yeah.
But, you know, you grow. But at the same time, as a young kid, I felt that way, and you know, I like the whole aesthetic of thinking different than what the majority is thinking. If you can push yourself there, you know, to strive for that, you know. So I like the identity of being a black sheep. You know what I mean? It gives me motivation to keep going on the path I'm going on mentally. You know.
What was the first piece that you think you did that made you feel like, hey, Mom, I'm an artist?
Damn, that's a good question. I don't know. Like a canvas piece.
Like commission, canvas, anything, something that when you looked at it and you were like, you wanted to show your mom, like, look, I'm fucking proud of this, like, look at me, like, I'm getting good. Like,
I think it was more recent. No, I think it was the first real canvas piece that made me. I'm trying to think of one of my early commissions where I think it would have to be honestly my first genuine like. Oh, I remember. It was I had this salon. I did some artwork for a salon, and I had got paid really good on it. You know what I mean? And I was excited about it because it was like a huge wall, biggest wall I've done. Most money I've ever charged anyone for anything at the time, and like I was, I was really proud of it. And I remember going back to my dad's house because I was borrowing his truck to go back and forth because of the ladder I needed to get up and down on it. And I just like filled his gas tank up because it was on E, I think. So I filled it up before I gave it back to him. I showed him the check that I got from the people. I'm like, I'm really doing this now. You know what I mean? Like, this is something I'm legitimately, you know, able to do. I did this with art. I did this with graffiti. Like the same shit I did that you got upset about when I was a kid.
Yeah.
This is now what I just filled your gas tank up with. You know what I mean? As well as have the rest of this. You know what I mean? I felt really good about that one. Like that one, I think was the first one where I said to myself, like, I think I could do this more. And then, like, I've had those moments all throughout the whole path, you know what I mean?
Now, like, there's more and more now. But, like, that first time now, you're like, that was just like, like, this is art. Like,
my dad had gotten me a commission when I was younger, but, like, I didn't really feel like that one was, like, like, sort of moment. It was sort of like, oh, my dad's friend, you know?
No, so one of my friends had the same kind of incident happen where she got commissioned for somebody else. Like, her mom got her a commission.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, like, she didn't feel like a connection to that commission. Like there was like, it wasn't her commission. It was like somebody else got her an art. Like she didn't see her art like enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what do you think is like, you've done so many fucking pieces.
A lot, yeah.
What do you think is like around town? What do you think is like your favorite piece that you've done?
Around town?
That's hanging up or something.
There's a lot, honestly. I like a lot of them that are hanging up, to be 100% real with you. Like, it's not more so like, I don't want to step on toes. It's honestly like, I have a lot of shit that I've done that I'm really proud of, that I like, you know, in different styles. Like, I do these walls, these sort of like fauna walls, I guess I'd call it, or I just do lots of like prints of like leaves and like vines and shit. And they're just outlines, like cartoon outlines.
Yeah.
But it fills an entire wall up, and it just sort of just goes and like flows with the wall, you know. And I love the way those come out. They're really detailed and they're fun to do, and they like look really good. So like they hit all aspects. Like I love doing those walls. But then there's some portraits that I'm really proud of that I've done. Like the one of my friend Pikachu passed away in the alleyway. Really like that one a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Like,
but then like there's like the graffiti piece of the girl in the back, and she's like looking. You know, I like that one too. You know,
yeah.
I got a lot of different styles.
So
that I like, to be honest with you. You know, it depends on the mood. You know.
What? Okay, so. I see you do art for people. I see you do art on the streets, you know, like down over on Fremont. I see you do art, you know, in your garage. As an artist, do you think that every one of those moments, you're living a different, like not different, but like it's almost different inspiration? Or is there a point in one of those that you feel the most inspired?
There's just, I think, different techniques that are fun to do at certain times, and it's like what mood I'm in. So it's like it's all based on mood. I would say, like depending on what comes out, because I also rap. You know what I mean? I have all my stuff in here too. So I also make music and MC and produce a little bit. You know what I mean? To make like beats to rap on. But you know, it really does depend on what's being pulled out. Because when I want to rap, I'll sit down and I'll find an instrumental that has like some kind of vibe that I'm on in some way, shape, or form, or a vibe that is inspiring, and I'll just write to it. But as far as literally what comes out, I do not depict or dictate what comes out. It's like legitimately like, oh, I guess I'm sad. I wrote a sad song, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
so like say this painting right here, right?
Yeah.
Where did you start? Where did you begin, or was it?
Yeah, with like, for example, like for these paintings, when I'm sitting down doing these ones, I'm usually in a pretty good spot, like mentally, to be honest with you. Like I'm usually feeling good, remembering stuff that I, you know, like from my past that I'm fond of, you know what I mean? And oftentimes it's night times, you know what I mean, in Vegas, you know what I mean? Somewhere going to some homie's house in the middle of the night for like, you know what I mean, a kickback or some shit like that, or going bombing, you know, go tagging something.
That's something that's funny, because like when I originally was going to buy a picture from you, that's what I felt like. I felt like, because it was like at an intersection, I remember, and it was raining, and I just remember like I felt not depressed. I wasn't upset. I wasn't sad or anything, but I felt like a sense of like like warmth. Like I felt like I could almost hear the radio on. Yeah. But it wasn't like too loud.
No,
you know
like
what
chill.
And it was chill, just like you could almost hear the rain hitting the ground, but it wasn't like too loud. Like you can almost like even in this, like you haven't finished it, but you can almost like imagine these cars back here like honking and like making sounds or something.
Making it turn.
Yeah.
The lights turn.
Yeah, but it's almost like it doesn't really take away from that moment, because it's far. It's like, you know what I mean? Like,
it has its place in it. It's not the star, but it's not oversaturating.
Yeah, and it's like
it's controlled. You know, saturation. You know, it pushes it. In the
this piece right here actually makes me think of. Oh man, it makes me think of pulling into the luxury movie theater over on Sunset.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that mountain kind of makes me think of how Green Valley High School has that mountain right over there.
Oh yeah.
That's what that makes me
think
of.
Wait to see this one when it's done.
That'd be so sick.
Well, yeah, it's like when I do one of these images, I'm usually one of those spots, man.
Like even that right there, like you said, that's just your.
Oh, these are my palettes.
Yeah, but that to me is art.
Yeah, it's
like
on both
that's
sides.
art. You see what I mean? Because like to me, like that's craziness. That's expression right there.
Oh yeah, these are the actual, you know, colors, but not controlled. This is the chaos that I make order out of on the canvas. You know.
And that's like, beautiful, because from that colors, you can never mimic this picture.
Exactly. Every single color is hand mixed. So like all these tones here have a place to live inside, you know what I mean? As well as that bright ass red. You know what I mean?
It's like
it's a balance between having these beautiful.
Because you might dab your paint in that red, but then you might come over here and dab it real quick. And
I might need this off, you know, teal color for a quick second, or I might need this red, like sort of grayish orange, you know what I mean? And then I'll dive over here like this dirty blue, you know what I mean? But it depends on what's coming out. Also too with these images too, they sort of paint themselves after a certain style.
Have you ever collaborated with an artist to do a painting?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, a painting. I have never tried it. On the walls, I've done it, hundreds of times.
Yeah.
But on canvas, I haven't gotten to that realm yet.
Do you feel like when you do that, do you feel like there's freedom, or do you feel like almost trapped because you have to like?
No, I've collaborated on music too before, and it's like it's the same feeling. Any kind of collaboration, I think, is the same feeling.
You feel like you can express.
You get excited because you don't know what they're gonna come up with.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, cool. If you, I don't know. It's exciting because he's like, what am I gonna? It's like blindfolding, picking the next color. It's like someone just hands you, here's some yellow. It's like shit. Yo, what? Yellow? Damn, dude, I was on purple. You know what I mean? Like,
no, me and my friends used to do this thing in high school where it was like, you rap one bar, I rap a bar, you rap a bar, I rap a bar.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just have to keep going.
Just
and
keep
you don't know what the dude's going to say next. Yeah. You're like, yo, he might say something wild.
If he's one of those friends, you know he's going to say some shit too,
Yeah.
And it's going to keep you on your toes. It's also going to be entertaining and inspiring too.
Yeah.
Like, inspiring. When someone does something you don't expect, it's inspiring. And it's like, yo, if you're collaborating on a piece like that, that's dope as fuck, because then you can get something that's going to make you excited, to try harder now. You're like, fuck, you came with that, I try even harder now, and it's like, either that or, yo, you made me laugh, I'm going to make you laugh now on this shit, you said some stupid shit on that verse.
Yeah, have you, is there any, because you've been doing art for a long time, is there any other artists that you feel like have raised with you, have like almost grown, or you've seen also like, you're kind of proud of too, to see like, hey, local artists or anything like that?
A lot of the people that I can remember were literally, this was my closest friends, in high school, but like they don't do art anymore, and so it's kind of hard, like all my brother's friends that were like my best friends, as well, like they're all 2 years older than me, but they're like, but they're all my best friends still. It's just that they don't all do art anymore.
They have normal jobs and stuff like that.
And the bonding that we first bonded over was art, and that's where we all kicked it in our class and shit like that in high school. And I'm the only one still doing it, I think, out of my whole group of friends. Other than that, like musicians that I've known, there's an awesome musician in town. Her name's Sonia Barcelona. The fuck, and she's dope as fuck. She plays the guitar. She sings hella dope. But like I remember meeting her like I think 2013 or 2014. I can't remember which one. That was a while ago. But like me and her made some music together as well. But like the stuff that she puts out now is incredible. Like it's just like on a whole nother tier from when I first like.
And that's so like crazy too, because like I want to touch on that what you said, where it's like I want to touch on like there's so many friends of mine that were such great artists, like guitar players, drummers, or something, and they're not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like I get like we said earlier, life changes. You grow up. You have kids.
That's
you do things. Yeah, and that's understandable.
Totally, yeah.
But I also want these people to understand that like don't forget that. Like
of course.
That's where like if you want to express yourself, or you need a way to express yourself, maybe go back to those roots.
That you still have those.
Yeah.
And part of who you are. It may not be your main thing, but like,
Dude, I didn't do art for years. I stepped away from art for years, and now I'm finally getting back into art. Like, I literally was doing art crazy amounts in high school. I was watching my dad be an airbrush artist, and then I got a job. I worked 2 jobs. You know, and then your art's nowhere in your mind.
Yeah, you gotta support yourself.
Yeah, but now I'm looking at art, and I'm like, I might be able to support myself, or maybe I'll work my normal job, but at least I can be creative on the side.
Of course, yeah. Like that's what I was doing for years. I was working at I was dishwashing. I was a prep cook for a while. I was doing merchandising for like a beer company for years. You know what I mean? And I worked as an accountant for a while. It's like but always in art.
When did you? Like I kind of want to touch on that. Like doing that, right? Was there a day or a time when you just started feeling like, I'm not going to be doing this much longer? And it's not like getting cocky, but it's like
a realization.
Yeah, like a realization of like, I can really be doing my art.
Yeah, there was. I was working at Miller. There's a company in town called Bonanza Beverage, or was at least. I don't know if they're still around, but they would be the distributor for Miller beer, and I was a merchandiser there for years, for like 3.5 years. And what I would do is I would wake up every day. They'd give me a stack of stops to go to, store to store, and I had to go to each store individually and go in the back on the pallet, get all this beer, go out to the shelves and restock them, and then go to the next store, And I had like 12, 13 stores a day, worked 14-hour days a lot, you know what I mean, driving my car all around Vegas, bombing the whole time too, because I can't the car. But like, you know, it was a really hard job physically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember when I was training to become an artist on the Strip, I was going to that job still, and I was thinking to myself, like, damn, I'm going to turn my 2 weeks in after 3.5 years here, sort of thing, you know what I mean? And like, it was at the bottom of the barrel moment too. At that job, I had thrown my back out, lifting a case of beer, and like I had to go to physical therapy for 2 weeks, and ever since my back's been fucked, you know what I mean? Like, it was a shitty time as well. But I remember thinking to myself, like, sort of like a numbing moment. I don't know if it was exciting. It was more numbing. Because I was in pain and like a bit of depression and anger because of the job working me so hard. When I first started training to become an artist on the Strip, there was a sort of like numbingness of all that pain and a dissolution of the depression. Not necessarily happy, but more so in like a free fall moment. Sort of like, things are about to change a lot right now. You know, I was sort of reflecting on that, sort of like
It's
trying
like a
to soak it in.
space.
Yeah, trying to soak it in, trying to understand,
What's about to happen.
Yeah, because
before it even happens.
Yeah, because I didn't fully understand that I was quitting, and I had already turned it in and quit, and I was like, just trying to wrap my head around it.
One day you're not gonna wake up and go to that job. You're gonna wake up and
I was like, this routine's dead now. This routine can die. And I was like, I don't have to remember my stops anymore. I don't have to deal with my managers here anymore. I can forget about it all because I'm never going to come back to it ever. And I was just sort of understanding what that meant, you know. And it was jarring. You know, it was a bit of a free fall moment. Not necessarily excited, not scared, none of that. Just sort of was like, this is the path. I just accepted it, and I was like, okay, we'll just see what this means because I don't know what it means. I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't know if it's going to be bad. And I don't feel, you know, excited or scared, you know, just sort of like, okay.
It's like, this is about to happen.
It centered me sort of, it sort of centered me in this free fall gray spot. And I was like, okay, let's just do it, you know, and let's just do it, you know?
That's kind of how I always feel like whenever I've lost a job or something, like, and you have to go for a new job, that's kind of how I felt in my life, where it's like, you kind of just are like, you have this space where it's like, yo, you can do anything. Mm-hmm. You can even not go back to work if you want. Like, you don't have to. Who told you have to go back to work? My mother, I know it's like crazy. My mom never really had like a traditional job. She always, you know, and like having that always showed me in my mind, like, you don't have to have this traditional job. Like,
you don't.
I had my mother's friends that were literally just cleaned houses for a living.
Yeah.
That was it. Like, oh, you're just a maid? Yeah, I just clean houses. Like, oh, my mom's other friends are just babysitters for the living. And it's like, you never went to school. You don't have to do anything. You're just helping other people live their life.
Yeah, and they'll pay for that.
And they'll pay you for that.
You're contributing something.
Yeah, and it's like, but then I also realized, like, art is in the same way. Like, somebody's gonna want an art piece in their house. Yep. You know what I mean? Like David Cho, like Facebook. They just wanted their fucking thing
painted.
They just wanted it creative because that's how it was. And it's like, now the dude's, you know, how he got paid and everything.
Yeah.
But that could happen for anybody. You know what I mean? That could happen for you one day, where it's like, some company could say, hey, you want to come paint this building for us? And you're like, sure, cool, this sounds like a great fucking thing. They're like, here's some stocks. You're like, dope. And then the next day you're fucking like, what?
Yeah, it blew up.
Yeah.
It all honestly depends on the person's desire. Honestly, if they want it, if they want anything, if they want to become, you know, if they want to become a famous artist, they can.
Oh.
Like that. But at the same time, if they just want to do a piece and hang up the coffee shop, they can do that. It just depends on their absolute truest desire. Because some people, like you were saying earlier, you know, like we have homies in the past who don't make art no more, you know what I mean? So their desire may not be to go so big in galleries and all that stuff. It may just be to make a piece for themselves or family, or just hang up at the coffee shop if they feel that confident.
Yeah.
But like, the point is to get it out, but also too their desire. You know what I mean? Like,
like for me, when I did art, it was just because, like, a lot of people ask, like, why did you do the art? It's like, I just wanted to sell a piece for one time in my life.
Yeah, something
and
like
just
that.
to feel like
It's possible.
If I
Just
could
to know.
sell this, like somebody respects my art enough that they'll buy it.
Just to know that.
That was it for me. And everybody else is like, so you don't want to be an artist like that? I'm like,
want to keep going?
I'm like,
that's
I'll do art,
yeah.
but it's never because like I want to make money, or I think it's like I love doing Graffiti Park because I know that the kids are going to go see it, and it's going to inspire a kid that was me that saw a tiger at a school that said, hey, I want to paint the tiger. I went to basic high school, like my whole I think you know how dope it would be if I like got to paint basic high school,
to know it was possible to paint it.
I went here.
Yeah.
I'm 20 something years old and now I'm painting the school I went to. And it's just like, it's not even because like I want money, or it's like it's
to know
that the possibility was even there.
It was there.
Absolutely. Life has so much freedom, but we have all these locks that I feel like we put on us.
We put on us.
Exactly.
And I mean, a lot of it can come from environment as well. People telling certain things growing up, or being around people who, maybe you never knew. Maybe you never had the catalyst to change your mind.
I know, I had a father who literally was a great artist, but anytime I would create, he'd almost be like, this is shit, and it's
critiquing.
And it was like, but it's so I get it,
but it sounds like he was locked into the business aspect, which was he was trying to support a family, which is like, if you want it to be good, you have to learn your foundation. So he was telling you that.
He's trying to help me, but he doesn't.
He was trying to help you from a business.
And now
that's not what you needed.
No, my dad doesn't even paint anymore, and it's so crazy because he paints for fun and stuff. But I did ask, like today, I asked my dad what. And my dad's honest with it. He's like, dude, I needed to make money. We needed to put food on the table, and this is something that I was just good at. This is something he wanted to pay me for. It's not even something that I necessarily desire to do, and that's so crazy to me. I wonder, because today, right? We look at old art. Sometimes I wonder, we might see it as a beautiful art piece, but what if that artist?
That's all they could do,
It wasn't even you know what I mean?
I mean, to be honest, the way it works is that whatever you focus on in your mind, whether it be the thing you really, really, really don't want to happen, it'll happen because it's on your mind.
Bro, period. I've seen that with when you look at these not mass murders, but you look at the top 10 people that are wanted for murder, right?
The criminals.
They'll literally the 5 of them. They'll murder their lover because they don't want to do something, and then they have to do what it was that they murdered the person over.
Some shit like that,
And it's instant karma, dude.
It's because whatever's on your mind, you get, period. Whether it be the thing you don't want. You get it because it's on your mind. So the thing is to focus on your mind. You'll get anything that is...
Manifestation of creation.
But that's how it works. And it works by whatever is in there is what you'll get. If you don't want something to happen, then only think about what you do want to happen. Only. And that's it. And
it's so hard.
And it's hard. That's why not a lot of people can
manifest.
Maintain that.
Yeah, I get that.
It's maintenance. It's not necessarily a set it and forget it thing. It's a maintaining it.
When I went to the gym and was working out a lot, I realized that people always talk about meditation and how you're it's almost like you're not even present. It's a separation.
It is a separation.
And when I was going to the gym, I started to learn that, wow, if I slow down my breathing, if I focus, I'm doing the same thing that they're doing when it's meditating. And then when I got tattoos, physical pain, I took that transcendence, and I wasn't even feeling the pain anymore. I just was like, this is just something that's going to have to happen.
You sort of, because what that pain does is it gives your mind something to focus on indefinitely. So by focusing on just one single thing, what you're doing is now forgetting everything else. And so what it does is it allows you to focus on one thing and focus on it until it becomes numb and goes into this place of transcendence, transcendental perspective a bit.
All right, so let's talk about that with art, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about this. When you come into this room, right, and say you're you have that mode, right? You're in your energy.
Oh, yeah.
How do you set up? Do you turn on music, or do you just go? How is there a flow? Is there ever a point in time where you're I have to turn this music off.
Oh no,
to
never.
Focus.
Never.
Okay, so
Never,
music helps you. Okay.
Huge. Yeah, well, because I rap. Yeah,
Okay.
I rap.
So you're like, when you're
back
doing
in the
your
day-
art, sometimes you'll like rap while you're doing your art and
Not
stuff?
necessarily. It'll be translated in a different way.
Oh,
So like,
okay.
it's the same idea, but translated through me differently. So like when I'm in like a writing mode, I can't paint or do graffiti. I just write, like raps. But when I'm in a painting mode, like when I'm sitting in here doing a piece, I can't write. Like if I would try to express it through writing, it wouldn't come out. So what I do
dope.
is rhythm, you know, and I love rhythm. I am obsessed with it, and like it's, you know, I've learned a lot about music and what it is exactly, you know what I mean, on a fourth dimensional plane, not necessarily 3 dimensions, because you can't see music. You know what I mean? You have to feel it as well. It's very important. It's almost like 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional sculpturing, almost, is what music is.
Music and art, to me, the reason that I love it so much is I realized that an artist can live forever.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, through vocal recordings. Yeah,
and through this,
and
then
individual stuff.
and like you can like the fourth dimension. I really believe in that. Like I believe that we transcend into the fourth dimension.
We do. Yeah, we do. Yeah. It's been talked about. Yeah.
We have an 11-dimensional neuron in our brain, so I definitely believe there's 10 dimensions we need to understand, and I believe that we're just out here. That's what I believe. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, me too.
But like, you know, like when Little Peep died and like musicians die, I really feel like sometimes like I know it's weird, but that movie, what is it? Coco, right? Where they go into the it's about
place,
and it's like if you're forgot about in this world, you're not alive anymore or whatever. And it's like, but like sometimes when I hear people that aren't around anymore, Creedence Clearwater Revival or something, right? I almost feel like I'm there.
You're still here.
Yeah, like I'm there in that room or something. I feel that energy. I feel that stuff. Like
yeah, me too. I do too. Like, sometimes I'll break down on a song, even if I've heard it a million times.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like it's just because it's just, you know what I mean. Some songs just
dude.
Do that
there's I think it's Red Light by Mac Miller and what's his name, Action Bronson. And every time that song comes on, it's like not even a sad song, but it's just like the way it hits. I'm just like, bro, it's hitting me in my soul, man. It's like I feel it.
Music plays a huge part though in the process of painting, man. Honestly, like I said, because I rap so much as a kid, like freestyling and just fucking around and shit with the homies all the damn time. When I'm painting, it's sort of the same freestyle. Like
that's what I was about to say, because like you say it's the same. Yeah,
it's like
and you're saying that this isn't something you're looking up. You're saying you come out of this creative, right?
Oh yeah.
Like space. That has to come somewhere from like your freestyle, because being comfortable freestyling is a hard thing. Some people aren't.
Oh, I think I'll rock parties every day, man. Like I love that shit. I love getting in front. Like who MCs here? Like I want to rap with. I want to freestyle with you. You know,
let's not say some writtens you have in your head.
I'll do that nowadays, but like now I got some good ones written down finally, but. You know, back in the day, man, I was that cat at the party trying to battle rap, trying to get in front of everybody, and that was fun, man.
So, like something you just said real quick, right? You used to freestyle, and now, like nowadays, you have writtens in your head that you can grab from, right? Or you can freestyle, right? Yeah. With your art, earlier there was something you kind of said to me, which was like, "Hey, this one's ruined, but I'll keep it for
reference,
reference."
Yeah.
So that's something that's kind of in the same sense.
Exactly.
You're freestyling, but you also, now that you have all of this education or growth, now it's like, hey, I can freestyle this, but I can also let me go back to my and get a reference and be like, cool. Like the reference back and like continue my freestyle.
Yeah, like a good way of comparing. I would compare that to music, but I do it visually as well. Like exactly how you put it. But it's like a jazz musician who writes songs. You know, it's like John Coltrane. He has got all his songs that he's written, and that he goes on tour and he performs his songs that are on the record. But at the same time, if he's just fucking chilling and kicking it, he can do a jam session with you and play some just whatever. Same thing. It's like the same exact way. I can play the hits. You know what I mean? I have all my sets. My set list is up here. You know, I got my set list down. It's right here in my head. But at the same time, if you want something off the cuff, I can totally, freestyle and kick some shit for you real quick if you want that too. But just know that these ones here work because these are on the album. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I fuck with that. No, I do. I hella fuck with that.
Yeah.
That's a good ass like reference. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, fuck, man. What else would you like to talk about? Is there anything else?
I think there's a lot of shit I would have brought up already got brought up. So just transcendence and making sure people are manifesting and on what they want. And you know what I mean. It's really important to keep in mind what I said about whatever you don't want to happen. If it's on your mind, you'll get it, and whatever is on your mind, you'll also get it. So it depends on your desire and focus on that and what you want to see in this world. You know what I mean?
So
it's just focus on only that.
With real fast, was there? Okay, so you had your normal job.
Oh yeah.
Were you pushing? Because you got your back hurts and everything, right? And you knew you were gonna go, but before that,
no, it's fine. Yeah,
were you pushing to get out of that?
Yes, I was absolutely because I was already doing graffiti for like years, and I had done a few little graffiti commissions way back in the day. You know what I mean? And I've gotten some change off of that. Back when I was in high school, it was like one of my first graffiti commissions. I think I was paid like $1,500 for it, and it was me and someone else who was my partner at the time. His name was Sly Fox, and me and him were doing the murals together. You know what I mean? And through the years, he just slowly started to do his own thing and move away from art in general. You know what I mean? But for me, it was I knew it was a possibility really young, and I had already gotten dough off of it really young, and I was like, okay, the only thing that's not working in my favor is the frequency of how quick these are coming. So if I work a job to support myself and I just keep up this frequency like this of doing these commissions every once in a while, but I'm supporting myself doing a job, the frequency of commissions would increase over time until the commissions would become repetitive. The frequency would be more repetitive on those, and I could slowly veer away from doing a job and keep that as a support. So at a really young age, I saw the trajectory of that, and nowadays I'm living the trajectory of that still. You know what I mean? It's still coming like that, and it's getting to the point where it's gonna come and be the main source.
Do you ever have you done a gallery?
Me personally, under me, no. I've always been a part of it.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that something that you want or see yourself doing at a time? Do you think that you would have enough material?
Yeah. I mean, I'm showing in a gallery here in Vegas right now called Perfect Darkness in the Arts Factory, and they have like a whole wall dedicated to my pieces, and they cycle them out. He even helps me with the framing on them and the placards for them and everything. So it's really nice and really professional. But I don't know if I necessarily see myself making a full solo exhibition gallery under me. I sort of like this partnering with galleries that are known already. Yeah. So if I can get into like a Sotheby's or like other places that are like a gallery in like Hawaii or gallery here, gallery there.
Get your name even further out there.
Yeah, you can sort of plant yourself in several places around the world.
Yeah.
And have your pieces displayed on lots of fronts.
That's beautiful. No, I like that.
Maybe an Italian gallery that's showing some of the best artists in the world, and then
you're
my
there.
stuff as well. You know what I mean? Like sort of amongst other artists.
No, that's beautiful. I really really like that. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, having a solo just gallery for yourself.
That's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, because also too, you only have one flavor now. You don't have a team in that location. With someone there with a face that can say like, hey, how's it going? Yeah, you want to know about the artist? I'd love to talk to you. Salesperson there. This artist here from Las Vegas, blah, blah, blah. And sort of like really introduce you when you can't be in Colorado or when you can't be in New York or when you can't be in Miami.
With your art, have you ever met anybody? Like, has your art have you ever sold your art, or has it ever got to somebody that you were like, wow, this person likes my art?
Yeah, Saul Williams. That was dope. It was super dope. Yeah, Saul Williams started following me on Instagram a while back, but like, I don't know, probably not a big thing, you know what I mean? But like, it was cool as shit to see that. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? That's so cool.
That's to you, that means a lot, and that's what's dope. Like,
he's a poet. He's a poet, rapper, a producer. He's like also an actor. He's really, really intelligent. I got a lot of my aesthetic from him as well. He's very like shamanistic with how he likes to dress. You know what I mean? And his poetry is so fucking like good. It's so ridiculous. And his verses, his rapping is incredible. And his music is so experimental and different, but like progressive and hard and industrial. dance. It's interesting. It's so dope. But I've always looked up to him for like a long time. But when he started following me, I was like, whoa, that's dope as fuck. I was like, that's so sick. Yeah,
no, I get that.
That was super gnarly. Yeah.
See, that's dope.
Oh, Holly Madison too from Playboy. She took a picture in front of the Baby Yoda downtown.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, that was cool. I was like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's dope.
That's awesome. Is there anywhere in Vegas that you haven't got to work that you wish you could, or is there anything that you've seen that you're like, dude, I wish I could have done a piece there, or at one day I hope I can do a piece there, or something?
Oh, a lot of places, like everywhere, pretty much. Like I drive down the street, no matter where I'm at. I'm like, I want that.
Bro.
That little coffee shop behind the Walgreens on this intersection, I want that. You know, like
I be going to Sunset Park, and I see, like, ever since we done Graffiti Park, I go to Sunset Park and I see these boring light poles.
Oh yeah.
Right? And I'm like, bro, how easy would it be if Graffiti Park teamed up with the city and we just went to the parks and we just did dogs, sick. You know, dogs on the light poles, or you know, like what are the fire hydrants, you know,
switch from schools to parks.
Yeah,
you should talk to them about
that. That's something that that's something I came up with. That's just a cool idea, you know, like
really cool idea.
Yeah, you know, well, I see like Samir, he does this stuff with the city, you know.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, you know, what if we teamed like you go to these dog parks and stuff, they're so boring.
It's a park, yeah,
and I get it, like, but there's just concrete blocks, you know, and it's so easy to just paint grass or flowers and make them more lively.
Why haven't we done that?
I don't know.
It sounds so fucking obvious, but no one's done it.
No, it's something I came up with.
Dude, that's genius, bro.
Yeah, it's something I came up with. So
that's genius.
Yeah,
that's genius. Just because it's such a good idea,
and
it feels like someone should have had it by now. And they still have.
They do all these like power boxes. They do all this stuff, but
what about everything else?
Just go to a freaking dog park. They're always just like they do the metal. You see the metal's beautiful, like they do on the freeways.
Yeah,
but you never see like. Just like fire hydrants.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It should be. You should just live it up with art.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So
that'd be sick as fuck. It'd be super cool.
So
I like to do that shit.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking like. That's something that I think would be dope. All right.
But yeah, like everywhere, bro. Honestly, like everywhere I go, I want to see my shit. Like I don't want to like. I go into any pizza shop or any place like that. I'm like, yo, I could do this for you. Or like, man, I could do amazing for you guys. You know, I think that everywhere I go, I'm constantly thinking about shit like that. Constantly. Amongst other important stuff, like family stuff.
Yeah.
But like as far as when it comes to art, man,
your art,
I am like so obsessed with it that like my main whole desire is carved out, and there's nothing blocking it. There's no doubt as far as like where it's going and the trajectory I'm going on. But it's like, you know, maintaining that, no doubt. You know, you gotta just
and what's so beautiful, like for me as somebody who enjoys your art, is knowing that you aren't scared to share it.
Not at all.
Like, if someone like me, my art, like if someone were to even come at me with a commission, I'd probably be like, hey, I'll do your backyard. You know?
Yeah.
But like, with you, you're comfortable, like, you're like, no, man, like, let me get my shit down on the strip. Or, you know, the tourists are coming and seeing. And like, that's so awesome, bro, that you really, like, you're on Fremont, bro. Yeah. I see you. Your art has to be quick. It has to be fast, but that's what I remember being a kid walking down Fremont and being like, bro, I was like thinking that shit was so cool. I was like, bro, how the fuck they doing that shit so fast?
Me too, dude. I was the same kid.
And like, you guys look like DJs, bro, out there.
I was so amazed as a kid going to Fremont and seeing those dudes. I'm like, man, that shit is so fucking dope.
Yeah.
And you guys are just doing planets and all this crazy fucking sci-fi shit. I was like, man, this is so incredible.
Yeah.
Now, it bugged me out because when I first started going on Fremont, I was like, wow, I'm that guy now. I'm that guy. That's so crazy to me.
I'm that dude, yeah.
It's like, because I remember being that kid, looking up at the dudes doing the same shit. You know,
and now they're looking up at me, and it's like, one day, I might be inspiring some kid now.
I get excited every time there's a family, and there's like, you know, mom, dad, like 3 kids. I'm like, I want to really wow these kids, you know what I mean? Because they're like, if I can appeal to them, make them go, whoa. That's all I can fuck about. I don't care if the guy over there drinking beer is like, I could have done that with a circle. You know what I mean? I don't care about that, dude. You know? I care about the kids who are like, whoa, you know, that's the coolest shit, man. That's what you do it for, you know, that excitement, you know.
Oh, I know. I love that.
I love performing, man. I love performing, but I love performing to bring people from like their mental chatter when they can step in front of me and I can just pull them into
and like, so that's something else, right? So you used to do art on the street. That's something where you're hiding.
No,
you know,
right,
you're trying to be hidden away. Now you're like out there.
I'm like, you guys better be watching me. Like, you look close. Like, look close at this. You know, like, I want you to come move closer, get closer, look real close. You know,
that's so cool because like in a sense, you found a way for making your art in a sense where you're like, oh, that shit's gonna get buffed. To where you're like, you know what? Someone's gonna have this on their wall, and they might have it on their wall forever.
Yeah,
bro. Like you don't know this, but my dealer, my best friend, right? His name's Ron. Yeah. He has a Black57 Rick and Morty hanging up in his house.
That's dope.
Like one of these.
That's
just
dope.
Hanging up in his house.
That's dope.
I know it's there. I know who did it, but nobody else knows. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, dude, that's so fucking cool, bro.
That's dope.
And it's like, yeah, that's the homie did that. And I went over to his house. He didn't know that I knew you. And I was like, bro, that's Black57. He's like, yeah, I got it down on Fremont. I thought it was super cool. I was like,
that's dope.
Yeah, that's the homie.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, see, this got a stretch on it. I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
I remember, because we sell online too, me and my girl.
Yeah.
And she bought a little, a map. You know, she's like, I want to color in all the spots we ship to. And so she's been doing that, and like damn near the whole country now is just filled in colors.
Black57, and that's so dope.
And I'm sitting there looking at that from time to time. I'm just like, I don't know. Those are part of people's lives in their home, in their living room.
It could be a kid, it could be a dad, it could be anybody.
Every time someone comes down and I say, can you do something for my daughter? Can you do something for my kid? You know, he likes this, that. I make those paintings. And I put extra time into those because I know that some kid is gonna have. Like I remember being a kid and getting presents and shit, and like. If it's something you put on your wall, it's there till you're fucking 20. You know, type of shit. If you're a kid,
dude,
you know,
it's stupid. Like I know it's retarded, but I just bought a poster of Kodak Black teamed up with Ass Pizza, the designer, and Robin's Jeans. But Sweet Cane took a photo of it and he turned it into posters because he's like, that's how they're advertising it. Yeah. I bought that poster for $30, right? Yeah. That thing is that poster's never going to be made again. Yeah. You know, and it's a piece of history of like these three artists teaming up. It's actually 4 artists technically teaming up, creating one image, one art gallery in a sense, because they're all going to sell these clothings, you know, and it's never going to happen again.
That's dope.
And that's why I wanted it. It was a piece of history, you know, and it's going to be on my wall forever. Yeah. And like that's going to be on someone's wall forever, and it can inspire you every day. Or it cannot, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I try to put that energy in it. You know? Yeah. I completely agree. Yeah. Like some of the coworkers I work with, I get the feeling from time to time, you know, because it is, you know, we all do. I know how the hustle is. It's rough, you know. I mean, you just gotta, you know, you want a Batman, I got you. You know, just, you know, you want Deadpool, I got you. You know,
you're like, dude, I've done 7 Deadpools today, but I got you.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm like, babe, what do we want? Another Rick and Morty? Okay, you know, like another, you know, boom, boom, boom. So it's a hustle.
But something like you said that you can do to not get bored, like I noticed, is do a different background.
Just keep yourself intrigued.
Exactly.
Or just challenge yourself and make this next one the best one you've ever done. You know what I mean? And like because of that, like or because I know this is going to go in a kid's room or something like that, or like I've had people commission me to do really personal ones. You know what I mean? I want my dad's name in the military one, and you know his dates from when he was alive to when he died. You know, and it means something to somebody. I've had people break down at the booth lots of times, and it's a piece of art. You know what I mean? Coming out of your hands. So like it's really important to put that positive energy into it because it's going to affect what's people directly. You know what I mean? Like directly. You know, there's always going to be naysayers and people will say, oh, that's whack, or oh, I can do that, or completely miss that plane of what you're doing. But as the artist, to stay on that plane, it's important. You know what I mean?
I do want to touch on something that you're touching on. There is that guy that says, oh, I can do that. You can. I want to say that. You can. No, you can.
Yeah, I do. I say that.
You can.
You can, but you're not.
But you're not.
You're not.
Exactly. That's something that like anybody can. Anybody can, and like anybody can do this.
Yeah.
Anybody can do what I do. Mm-hmm. Anybody can create clothing. Anybody can do anything.
They could, but they don't.
But you could, but you don't.
They do what they do. You know
exactly.
What I mean? So like, I mean, I bring that guy up like that because I feel like it's what's holding a lot of artists in general back.
Yes, exactly.
There's always gonna be that guy, but you're not on his plane. Let him vibrate with the people he's vibrating on. You're vibrating with the people who are locked in with you.
Yeah.
It just maximize
Find your zone.
Yeah. Maximize that only. You know what I mean?
And then like something that
fucking fade.
You know? That rest will fade away. The bullshit that they gotta say is in the back of your head.
That one, even if it's one friend you have. Yeah. Even if it's that one friend saying, hey man, I like what you're doing. That shit is dope. That's all you need.
Bro, that's literally,
that.
so I've always been a drawer, and this kid named Alex Torres, literally one day, he was just always like my best friend, and he was just like, we're in the, you know, smoking weed and shit. He's like, bro, why don't you make these into rolling trays? And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, bro, make them into rolling trays. Like, your art is so dope, just turn them into rolling trays. And I'm like, nah, you know? And then, like, over time, I started to get, you know, more comfortable with creating, and I started doing, furniture, clothing, and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't stay in one lane. And now, as I'm growing older, I'm going back to that, like, bro, I really could have done this. Like, face masks.
Yeah.
Before face masks were big, I literally was telling my ex, like, yo, why do they not have masks that match their clothes?
Yeah.
I was like, literally, like, matching from the face mask to the shirt. Like, why? And I wanted to make it, and then COVID happened, and then now that's like one of the number one things, and that's what I want to touch on is like, don't just have an idea and think about it.
Yeah.
Do it. The hashtag fuck tomorrow is something that I'm really trying to push, is like, because my grandmother,
do it today.
Yeah, my grandmother passed away, and when she passed away, my grandma always told me one thing: why the fuck are you doing something tomorrow that you could have done today?
That's a great
Why
advice,
are you
man.
sitting on your ass saying, hey, I'm going to do this tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'll do the dishes tomorrow. I'll do the laundry tomorrow.
Just do it right now.
Just go do it right fucking now, because then tomorrow you're free.
Yeah, that way you can focus on what tomorrow's going to bring you.
Boom.
You don't have to worry about it. You have to fill your mind up with stuff you don't have to worry
A
about.
list of bullshit that you have to do tomorrow.
It's discipline. It takes a little bit of mental discipline, because what it does take is self-awareness and self-reflection. Because if you could just be aware of yourself, and you're like, we've all been there, on your phone for way too long. Maybe you're eating junk food and you can't. What the fuck am I doing? God damn it! You put your shit down and you go, God, this
last
shit
night,
to do. What am I doing?
Last night I was hanging out with the homie, and I ate way too much food. This morning I woke up and I threw up.
Oh, wow.
And I literally was like feeling like shit, and then you hit me up, and I was like, dude, what am I doing? Like, I'm supposed to be getting these interviews done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is something that I'm supposed to be doing. You know, I write people. It's not easy to get interviews. It's not, because it's,
no, I believe you.
It's time, matching up time schedules, matching up meeting. People that want to interview. I'll get hit up with someone, hey, I want to interview, and then I'll go to interview them, and they're, oh, I don't know, man, I'm kind of nervous, and it's like...
No, you're nervous, man. Just be yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're good.
You're good, yeah. But I get it,
yeah, I get it too. I get it.
But, like, you just, exactly, like, as long as you can bring yourself back to that snap, to, like, yo, what am I doing? Yeah, catch yourself. What the hell am I doing?
You have to be that voice, of that, that disciplinary person is you in your mind. Everything that you assign yourself is in your mind. It's all within yourself. Like, if you're telling yourself, man, I'm really not that good, or man, I'll get this done tomorrow. Like, all that shit is all you. And so is the voice that is counterintuitive to that. It's always about trying to gauge where you're at. Where are you at this exact second? Is it a good spot? Yeah, I'm in a good spot. I'm doing good. We're focused. We're good. All right, good. Catch yourself. Where are you at right now? Kind of bullshit. Okay, well, what are you feeling right now? I'm feeling doubt. All right, what's the opposite of that? What's the opposite of doubt? Confidence. All right, well, then just focus on people, things, and feelings that you've had when you were confident in your life.
Yeah.
Focus on those feelings, and then you'll feel confident. And
When
focus on it, and then you go.
When I was in the mental hospital, they literally said, like, every day, just ask yourself how you're feeling and be real with yourself.
You have to.
Stop lying. There's so, like, I get asked of coworkers all the time. They're always like, you talk really negative of yourself. And I go, because that's how I perceive myself. But that's what I have to do for myself every day, for me to push myself. I know that. That's just how I am. If every day I wake up and say, oh, I'm the best looking person in the world, I'm just going to get fat.
No, you have to be believable.
Yeah, I have to be real.
You have to believe yourself.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. Like, if it's a small increment, like saying, like, maybe not start so high. Because I think starting so high, a lot of people tend to do that.
Yeah.
They go, I want $1 million. I'm just going to focus on that. And it's like, okay, well, do you believe you can have it?
Yeah. I don't even believe I can ever have a fucking $1 million. Like,
do you think you can have 100 though?
100,000?
No, just 100.
Oh, $100? Yeah.
Or 200.
Yeah, I
that's
that.
believable, right?
Yeah.
So that's way more.
That's why, like, with my art, I was like, dude, I just want to sell an art piece for. It wasn't like, whenever I thought of art, I wasn't like, oh, I want to fucking do a massive wall and
get paid $75,000 because I did this wall.
You did something you could believe.
Yeah, I was like, I want to do one photo, and maybe someone down at First Friday buys it for $300. And that was me going high.
Well, that's good though. Yeah.
$300. I don't know if I would ever pay $300 for a piece of art because I'm broke.
But if you 100% believed you could sell it for like a $150, or like $90, you're like, I can get 90. That's $90. That's $90.
Yeah.
And you got it. That's why you got it, though.
Yeah.
Now it's about taking that same mindset and finding the ceiling. What is the highest number that you genuinely believe? Or what is the highest desire or thing you want in your life that you can genuinely believe in? Like, okay, this is in the range that I believe I can actually really do this. Like, I can really get up and take the trash out. I can really get up and move this from left to right. I believe that. And I can do it. Now, what's the ceiling of that belief of what I can do? You know?
My friend, he's a tattoo artist, and he just started tattooing, right? And he was working these jobs, meaningless jobs, and you know, and he got the same kind of realization that we were talking about, which was like, the fuck am I doing? Yeah. You know, I love art. I do art every day of my life, not at my job though. And it's like, he's like, he realized I can make money, real money, like money that like I can change my life from, you know. And it was like, when he starts talking about like now he charges $100 an hour, and he's like, in his mind, he's like, I charge $100 an hour. It's something that really resonates. Like he really understands that his art is worth value. That.
Put that value, and he really believes that value. Of
it. And it's like, you know, and I look at his art, I'm like, bro, like that's the spider he did. I'm like, bro, you gotta realize, like, yes, your art's there, you know,
it's dope.
And you're gonna only get better. So like keep doing it.
Keep doing it until his level of belief says, I believe that now is valued at $300 an hour. I genuinely believe it's worth $1,000 an hour, $2,000 an hour. But like that ceiling in our minds, we have to believe it before anyone else can, or before it'll come to us, because you'll only get what you can genuinely put the belief feeling into.
Dude, we were looking at the world's most expensive cowboy boots, and it's this artist, I can't think of his name right now, but they're called the Cosmic Cowboy Boots, and he also did the Cosmic Harley, and he's just like a painter, right? His name's like Jason something, and but his paintings sell for, like, these shoes sold for $100,000 because of his, just because he painted them, right? He doesn't even value his stuff like that. It's what people value his stuff like real fast, like Banksy, right? You have Banksy. He's like, Banksy's sitting there like, bro, you guys want to pay me $1 million for that? Like, he's like, okay.
I don't buy it. I don't buy that I don't buy that anyone is like, oh shit, look at this. I don't buy it for an instant. Because it's a deep rooted thing. Because you only get what you is deeply, deeply rooted in your mind and in your heart. What that thing is, what you're focused on in your mind. If you're saying to yourself, I'm gonna be world famous. I'm gonna be world famous. Until you genuinely believe that for like 5 years at some point, but also too are aware of people coming around you. Like, I'm gonna be world famous. You're gonna meet a business guy. You know, oh hey, what's up? You know, I got fucking distribution for blah blah blah, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? And you follow this, and you're aware of your surroundings while you think this, and utilizing the shit that's coming to you every single day, every day, the good stuff and the bad stuff. Let's say you lose someone in your life, or you go through a bad relationship with someone and lose the person that way in a relationship, or your car breaks down, but you're still, I'm famous. I am. All that shit that's happening is leading you to that goal in your mind, no matter what it is. Because you didn't need to be around those people. You didn't need to have those things you had, because you couldn't be world famous, or whatever it is that thing is in your mind. Whatever that thing is, you couldn't have it if those things were around. Instead, it's got all this shit lined up for you that you need to get that. But you have to be aware of what's going on and utilizing the things going on around you, as well as keep that. But whatever that thing is, you have to believe it. Because you're not going to do that unless you genuinely, true heartedly, with all of yourself, believe it. That is for you. You know what I mean? Like, I believe I'm going to be the best fisherman on the whole Pacific coast. I guarantee you. And you just never stop believing that, from a kid all the way till you're 30. I mean, odds are, everything in your life is going to be centered around doing one thing. One fucking thing.
Exactly. You look at these people who say they're going to be the best basketball player. They're going to be the best. They're in your mind. You're telling yourself every day that you got to push yourself to do this, to do that.
That one thing. That one thing. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything else is leading.
It's kind of like just like everything else. You're just kind of like, yeah, it's just like background stuff.
It's stuff that's helping me get to that thing.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's so like I feel that so much because like that's how I feel in my life right now. Like I work at a dispensary, cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've done other jobs, cool. But now I'm at a point in my life where it's like I'll work this job.
Yeah.
But for how long?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna work it forever.
It's helping you do something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I have enough income, I live on my own, you know, I'm stable enough where it's like, I have days where I wake up and I'm like, bro, I spend the whole day to myself.
Yeah.
I don't have to
nice.
talk to any single person, right?
Yeah.
Or I can go and do something.
Yeah.
You know? Like I can look at my bank account and go, fuck, dude, I have no money for paint. Or I can say, you know what, dude, let me grab my credit card. Go buy fucking 3 cans of spray paint, $18, and make a fucking painting in my garage. And now, I might have spent $18, but hey, I'm not sitting at my house being bored all day. I'm fucking creating.
Yeah, you did something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. It's the something, the desire, whatever it is. Like you have the desire to do something, thus you found the means to do it. And if you focus on one secular goal, one thing, you know, one goal, everything in your entire universe is now in aid for that. But you have to use the things you have
that
to
come
utilize.
along. Yes.
Yeah, you have to utilize.
I've learned that the world, like something we were talking about, like with fourth dimension and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I've worked at a bunch of different dispensaries. Not something I'm really proud of, but I've worked at a bunch, right? The reason I think a lot of the times I've lost my job or I've done this or that in my life, I really believe it was because I kept putting out there that I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that. And the world my life was making me go and do those things.
It was doing those things.
Instead of me just sitting there.
On one thing.
And it literally was like, and that's when I started to realize, I was like, if the world's going to start pushing me to do these things, how the fuck am I not pushing myself to do these things?
Exactly. It's like snake rivering because you're pushing it this way, this way, this way, this way, but it's not necessarily going anywhere.
No.
And it needs to go somewhere. And as long as we have that one something, everything just lines up perfectly like a straight river like that instead of winding. You're not being bashed back and forth going through whitewater rapids. You're on a nice steady stream, on a smooth, calm stream, and everything is pushing you in that smooth, calm stream towards that end goal, you know. That's what I mean. There's never really an end goal. It's just down the river as far as you can make it.
I like that.
More accurate, you know.
Yeah. Well, it was nice talking with you.
Yeah,
Black.
man. Same, bro. Same, bro. Thanks for coming by, man. This is awesome.
There we go.
Yeah, perfect.